Hi everyone, 大家好, 𝐸𝐚𝐥. Welcome to a new video on my channel. This is a different style type of video where I am talking for the first time directly to you guys, but here is my Notion tour of my language tracking hub template that I use to track my studying and track just how I'm doing with my language goals. This video will be divided into 3 sections. The first one is the tour of my polyglot diary, my language hub. Second part is how to download it, and the third part is how to use it from scratch. So here we have my language hub. I called it Polyglot Diary to go along my YouTube series called Polyglot Diaries, and here we have the icon. I really like this emoji because it's basically the same symbol that the Apple keyboard uses to change the language that you're using for your keyboard, and I decided to use that one. And then here we have my heather. This is from a Ghibli movie and I really love it so much. And then we have here 2 different widgets from the website indify.co. I made a little counter for my Anki streak. If I am a 15-day streak of practicing my Anki flashcards, just keep adding as the days go, and if I break it, then I just press reset and start all over again. So it's very simple. And here is my D-Day tracker for the language challenge, or the 365-day challenge that I am doing following Miss Danai, Study with Danai, on Instagram. And it's just to remind me that days go by and I have to do it. And then I have my language map, which is basically just a tracker of the languages that I am learning, was learning, paused on learning, or just, the languages that I want to learn. I'm basically fluent in both English and Spanish, as they are my native languages. Here I have Mandarin. So far I already passed HSK4, but as I am preparing to take the HSK5 or 6 depending, I am going over the HSK4 material again because my grade wasn't exactly my favorite thing, because I didn't actually prepare for the HSK4. I just took 2 years in university using the 𝐬𝐨𝐜𝐚𝐥, or New Practical Chinese Reader. I didn't prepare for it. I had no clue how the HSK worked before taking the test. 2 weeks before I was like, yeah, I'm taking it, but I should have decided to take it a little bit later and actually delved into what the HSK really is. So that's why I'm going over HSK4 again, just to make sure that there are no gaps left and that I have everything under control for the HSK5 and 6, which are actually big giant monsters that you have to fight and win. So yeah, that's where I am at right now with Mandarin. So that's why I have 3, because I know that up to HSK3 I am really good at it. So yeah, I'm just practicing. And as for Korean, I recently just started, so I have it in 0.5. So far I have completed 1 level of Korean according to my professor's classes, which are in total 6, so that's why I have a 6 here. So far for French and Japanese I am in a small hiatus, as I want to focus more on Mandarin and starting Korean, and I am planning on starting Italian on my university in August. We'll see how that goes, so I have it for future. And then we have the table version, which is easier to edit levels and stuff and see it as a whole. Now we have my textbook tracker. So far, these are the things that I am currently progressing in. So for example, I have completed 17 lessons of the short-term spoken Chinese 𝐸𝐴, and we will go up to lesson 21 in our class. So that is my goal for this book. Then here we have my class with my Korean professor. I literally just finished week 15, so I'll update that. I'm almost done with basic 2. For the 𝐬𝐨𝐜𝐸 standard course 4, I just finished lesson 2 of my revision. Then we have a master view of everything that I plan to do, and then we have 2 different lists, one to show me which books I have per language, and another one to just seeing the completed textbooks so far. So for now we have the in progress and the master list. Those are the most important to me. Then we have the language chapter tracker. This is a tracker of how I study chapters. Depends on the time frame, but overall I usually study chapters in the exact same order. So this is just basically the in progress view, and then we have the master view, which shows me completed here, not started, in progress. I will show you how to move them to completed later. And so just as I go, for example, I started this one, and so it's currently also in progress, so I just move it here and I see it. Then we have the calendar view, which helps me just visualize how exactly I am supposed to be doing the chapters, or my plan, depending on my time or like the time frame I have to finish it, if there are deadlines involved and stuff. There's no correct way of studying a language. And then we have my archive of completed chapters that I have completed while using this Notion template. Okay, so now we get into how to download this template. So the first step is to obviously have your Notion account. If you are a college student, then it is free. I think to have one page it is also free. I'm not very sure how the site payment works, but if you have like a group of people or like many pages, then I think you have to pay, but I think overall it is free. So all you have to click on is duplicate, and all you do is just duplicate it into your account. You'll probably see it on your sidebar. So yeah, that's basically how to download it. Okay, and now we have our little tour. So I have added this cover for you, but you can always change it into whatever you want, as well as the emoji. You just click on change cover, and you can either pick one of the Notion covers, or you can upload an image that you have, or if you just go to Google Images and you find an image that you like, all you have to do is just copy the image link and then paste it here, and then you submit, and then it will show up here. Then you also have the Unsplash Notion feature, where you can just search something that you like. And you can also change the emoji, you can also upload an icon, and you can also link a little icon from Google Images if you have the image link. So then we have the title. This title, you can always switch it into whatever you want, like for example, Language Hub, Polyglot Hub, or whatever your heart desires. It just really depends on what you want to call it. And then for the Anki streak, if you like Anki, you can keep it, or if not, you can always click here and delete it. And as for the language challenge thing, you can always go into indify.co, which is a separate website that has widgets for Notion, and all you have to do is just go to countdown. Once you're done doing your widget of whatever countdown you are doing, all you do is you copy the link on Indify and you paste it. Usually if you paste it, it will look something like this, and then you can always just move it to the side so that they're side by side and together. If it looks like this, all you have to do is drag this up so that they are evenly together. You can also add pictures or however you like, and you can also just delete them and have them disappear. It just really depends on how you like it and what your style is. So here we have the language map. So I made a little feature for you guys so that you don't have to write things down from scratch. So all you have to do is click on this little arrow here, and then you press on new language, not on empty page. And usually most languages have 6 levels, unless maybe there are some differences, but we also have Japanese, which has 5 instead of 6. And all you do here is just say, you put the language you are studying, and you add flag or whatever icon you want, 𝐬𝐨𝐜𝐚𝐥, a mooncake, or just however you like, or you can just leave it without the flag. And then you can always move the checkpoint on how you like. I have this setting on each new language, new chapter template. Since I deal with these little dots, I always have it preset to start on 0.01, as that shows a 0%. But once you start fully and you're like, I passed or I finished with the 𝐻SK1 book, or you know, just however you want to, you can just put 1 and then you can just start counting from there. So these numbers, I usually have them after I finish something. So first I would keep it like this. Once I finish the level or the first book of the series that I want to learn, all I do is just boop, update it to that number. So okay, and then we have the levels. This changes depending on how many levels you want to learn. If you just want to reach up to B2, for example, those are 3 levels, so all you do is just put the total levels you want to learn and achieve. So yeah, it just changes. And then here we have the status. So you can either have future, hiatus, in progress, or complete. This is if you completed it, this is if you're still doing it or just about to start, or hiatus is if you stopped learning a language for a while, and the future is for future plans. So yeah, that's basically how to add a new language. And then we have the table where you can see everything sorted, okay? All the languages you add. So every single time you want to have a new language on your language map, all you have to do is click this arrow and press new language, and you can just go from there. That's how I explained. So yeah, I'm going to move on to the textbook tracker. So the textbook tracker is basically the same thing, just tracking how many lessons a textbook has. For example, if you want to learn with the 𝐻SK1, 𝐻SK Standard Course 1, then you have the book. Then we have the icon feature. I always like to add a flag so that I have that standing out and I see which language it is for. And here we have the language select tool, which should actually be select 1. Yeah, so we have I pre-added Chinese, Korean, and Japanese, because usually the people that follow me, I think, are mostly towards learning East Asian languages, but you can always add a new one. For example, if you're learning French, you just press enter and you add it. And if you want to change the colors, all you do is you press on these 3 buttons and you put the color of your choice. So that's how I do that. But for example, 𝐻SK Standard Course 1 is for Chinese, and then we have the not started or in progress. Let's put in progress, and we know that the 𝐻SK Standard Course 1 has 15 lessons, so 0.01 for 0%, and once I complete the first lesson, I update it to 1, and so forth with each chapter. Once I'm done with the 𝐻SK Standard Course 1, I just put 15 and it's at 100%. So I'm going to add a new chapter for a new book for, let's see, Vitamin Korean 1, for example. And then we have status not started, and the icon I'm going to add is the South Korean flag. For example, Vitamin Korean has 5 units per book, I believe, and so Vitamin Korean 1 is a bit different, since usually each unit is divided into 4 parts. You have 3 lessons, and then you have a practice test, or just practice exercises, however you want to call it. But the first unit of Vitamin Korean 1 is just learning Hangul, and that has 3 lessons in 1 unit. So so you have 4 units that have 4 parts, and then you have 1 unit that has 3 parts, so that's 16 plus 3, so 16, 17, 18, 19, so that's 19 lessons for Vitamin Korean 1. So let's suppose that we haven't started this yet for our practice. Okay, this status to in progress, you will find that the in progress status textbooks are in the in progress bar. I filtered it that way so that you can just have a cleaner view of what you are doing. Then we have the master, which you see everything if it's completed, no matter if it's like future or in progress, right? So you can see everything in the master. I added 2 more views, a board where you can see the textbooks per language you're studying, and you can see all of them here. And then we have the archive, which is to see the completed textbooks. If I go to the master list, right, I finished, for example, 𝐬𝐤𝐜𝐤 Standard Course 1, and I'm going to put it in completed. And all I do is in the archive section, I see all of the textbooks that I've completed while using this template, or overall, depending on how you want to utilize this. So yeah, those are the textbook trackers, and then you can move not started to in progress, and then you finish the first lesson, so you are 5% in it, right? It just depends. And in the master view, you can always just move everything according to how you are going with it. Yeah, so that's basically how I am working with the textbook tracker. And then we have the language chapter tracker. For the chapter tracker as well, all you have to do is just press new tracker, as well as here, new chapter, and you will see this. It's easier if you have this 0.01 for the purpose of the progress bar. Once you check how many lessons the textbook you will be doing has, or the resource you will be utilizing has, you can always change this. If you don't use textbooks, you can always go and put like a video tracker. It just depends on how you're utilizing it. So for example, here on the chapter tracker, all we do is press on this arrow again, and we press a new chapter. So these 6 steps are the 6 steps for me to learn languages. You can follow those steps, or you can always make your own. So all you could do, if you want, is just make a list of what steps you have to learn a chapter, or if you don't have any, you can always just put, usually we all have like vocabulary learning, grammar learning, text reading, and stuff like that. So for me, those are 6 steps that I use. And then here I add books. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these because these are actually not meant to be here. So let's suppose that for adding a new book here, all you have to do is just type an option in. So for example, if you're doing the 𝐬𝐤𝐜𝐤1 books, all you do is just type 𝐬𝐤𝐜𝐤1 and you click create 𝐬𝐤𝐜𝐤1, or you just press the enter button, and it will always automatically show up as an option. And this, I utilize it in the calendar view, so I will show you how to use that in a second. And then we have the status, which I always keep to 0.01 for the 0%. And then we have the type, which we put not started, in progress, or completed. And here I always try to put the title of the lesson in the language that I am studying in and how it looks like, so that it's easier for me to just read it and practice. So for example, we have 第一课. I think this is the title of HSK4's first lesson, but whatever. 简单的爱情. Okay, so that's how I will write it down, and I will put it here. So as you see, it doesn't show up in this because you have to put the status to in progress for it to show up in the in progress section. But if you go here to master, all you do is you move this not started and you drag it to in progress, and there you have it. It's now in progress. And there. I have this section to plan out because I always like to plan out ahead of time and see how much time I have. But for example, once you are done with it, you have 6, you can always drag it to completed, and then it disappears from the in progress section, and it also doesn't belong in the not started. So you can always see it in an archive, which I will show you how to use later. I will leave this like that, just for the purpose of this video. So then we have the calendar view. So we have one that has no date, and if you have many that have no date, it's fine. I find this a lot better for me to plan out how I want, and after I plan it, then I'm done with that. So all I do is I just add this to the calendar, and it shows up on the date that you're planning it, so you can always move it around. For example, if you want to start Monday, you drag it around, and it's very nice. And I also like the fact that you can just space it out, so you can see, oh, I will take 1 week to study a chapter, or 3 days, preferably a week. So it's just depending on how you really want to do it, but it's fun to view it like this. And I use this alongside my planner, where I divide those 6 steps and I put them separately in my planner, like Monday I will study vocabulary, Tuesday I will do this, like that. And then we have the archive, which if you go back to the master list, all you have to do is once you're done with a lesson or a chapter, all you do is you drag it to completed. You can see one is completed, and if you go to the archive, you will see all of your completed lessons. Okay, and then we have finally my guide to how I self-study, and you can always change this according to how you like to study. I left this here just in case anybody needs any help with how to divide their language learning or make a language learning routine. This one has been very useful for me, so if you also find it useful, then that's awesome. Anyway, this was my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it very much. Please let me know if you use my template. You can check me out on Instagram if you haven't already, and you can send me a DM. I always answer all of them, even if it takes a little while to answer them, but I try my best to keep up with what you guys send me. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will hopefully have another video for you guys up on next Sunday at 9 AM, just like this one. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the template. It is free to download as a gift for all of your love and kindness, and I know some people might find this really useful. Yes, thank you so much. See you guys on the next one. Bye bye.